The attacks raise new questions about just how terrorists operate.
And now the question is there a changing face of terrorism? CBS 2's Dick Brennan here now with more on that.
Well, Christina Maurice, the #1 fear of police is the so-called lone wolf, the person who is radicalized perhaps in his own living room by reading or watching terror propaganda online. But the Paris attacks seem to go to a new level with the homegrown terrorists traveling abroad to get training. In just the past few months, terror attacks in Ottawa, Canada, in Sydney, Australia, and now in Paris. Terrorists taking their cue from jihadi propaganda, but now the message from a new generation of radical leaders seems to have changed.
You don't have to come necessarily to fight with us or to train with us. If you can fight and attack where you are, do it.
Terror experts want to know what may tie attacks together. They say Paris actually seems remarkably similar to the Boston Marathon bombings in 2013.
Not only do you have two brothers who seemingly radicalized either in Boston or in Paris, but one of them goes and travels overseas, and we believe gets some type of paramilitary training with some type of terrorist organization.
In Paris, it seems different cells may have been acting in coordination. Mitch Silber of K2 Intelligence spent 8 years on the terror trail for the NYPD. He says that's not entirely surprising.
A lot of these individuals who are involved in, cities in the West, we see that there's almost a quote-unquote a scene, and they hang out in the scene. And what's in the scene? The scene is certain mosques, certain bookstores, certain cafes, maybe certain student groups, certain protest activity, and these people sort of like free electrons sort of bounce off of each other.
The question for authorities after Paris, how to meet the new challenge posed by terrorists on the home front.
The terrorism of 2015 is now a much more diverse, globally varied, and organizationally mixed environment than ever before.
But anti-Semitic attacks, like Toulouse in 2012, or Brussels earlier this year, or now at the Paris kosher deli, seem to be continually a focal point for terrorism.
There's some type of linkage between jihadists and Jewish targets, and obviously New York City, with its Jewish population, this has to be at some level of concern.
And of course, that means the NYPD and other organizations will respond accordingly, covering sensitive locations with tactical teams moving from location to location, trying to keep potential attackers off guard. Christina Maurice.
Dick, what did your experts say about tracking suspects like these here at home in this town?
Well, the experts here say it would be unlikely that something like this, like people who travel abroad to Yemen, wouldn't be very closely tracked, not only by the feds, but by the NYPD. They've done it in the past. Now, in the defense of the French officials, it's a lot harder to track the thousands, 1 to 2,000, they say, who have traveled to other nations, potential nations, getting training. So in New York, at least, it would seem we keep much better track of these guys than they do abroad.
So far.
So far.
You bet. Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.